Cleveland.
Yes, it is. I'm going to say it right now on the airwaves, and I'm glad my man Jalen wrote it.
It is. Tell the truth, Steve.
It is time. The Cleveland Cavaliers should trade Kevin Love. They should trade him.
Yeah,
and by the way, it's not because I'm getting on Kevin Love, who I happen to like a great deal. I think for the most part does his job. I'm telling you why they should trade Kevin Love. Kevin Love don't want to be there. Kevin Love don't want to be there. He don't want to be around this mess. And I'm going to go a route that most people wouldn't, but damn it, I'm me. So I'm going to take it there. You're in a locker room that is clearly dysfunctional. Clearly dysfunctional. You got the owner butting heads with the world's greatest player. You got a rookie GM in place. You don't really have a president with stature to speak of because Dan Gilbert doesn't want that because he wants everybody to believe that he's the guy that is all-knowing about the sport of basketball. In between, you got JR with his agenda. You got Isaiah Thomas with his agenda. You got Tristan Thompson, who's a reserve, trying to learn how to be a reserve because he was never a reserve before. And you're Kevin Love, and I'm going to say this. It's kind of a little bit difficult when you white and you around a bunch of brothers.
Can't believe you said that.
I'm just saying it's a little bit different. It's a little bit
If I was Max, I'm like, come on now. If I was Max, I'm like, come on now. I'm around two brothers now.
So it's a little bit different for you, but
Max got bars.
There you go.
Yeah, Max got bars.
It's a little bit different. Kevin Love, from what I've been told, he's a professional. He's going to do what he's got to do. But is he really, really excited about being there, surrounded by all of this mess? Hell no. So do him a favor. Get rid of him because he don't need to be a part of this. And oh, by the way, here's what happened Saturday. While the Cavs were in the midst of getting annihilated, I mean, blown out of the building. How you score 124 points and still lose by 25? It's beyond me. But that's what happened, okay? They gave up damn near 150 points. Kevin Love left the game early, but he didn't leave the game. He left the arena. He went home. He went after the game on TV.
Nigga's neck.
While his boys, supposedly his boys, were there getting blown out. That was the real issue that the players had. The fact that they came into the locker room. LeBron is very cool with Kevin Love. He happens to like Kevin Love a lot. The man sat up there was like, damn, he's home.
That nigga was gone.
That was the problem that they had with Kevin Love because it was tantamount to you and your boys getting in a fight, and then they turn around and you APP, there's nowhere to be found. That's how they interpreted it, and that was the problem.
Well, I mean, if there are only two guys knocking anyone out in the fight, which is LeBron and Kevin Love, if I'm Kevin Love turning around saying, yeah, I wasn't there, but neither were you. Where were you? When I'm there, I'm knocking everybody out. What are you doing? LeBron James has been great wire to wire on the offensive side. He has to save himself on defense, and that is really what the issue is. He is not leading the team defensively, and the other players on this team are not self-motivated. If they were, they would be playing defense without their leader having to lead the way. That goes for Tristan Thompson, who LeBron got paid, and everybody. Why do they need to see LeBron play defense in his 15th season when he has to save himself for high-leverage moments in the playoffs in order for them to play defense? That's problem number one on the defensive end. On the offensive end, Isaiah Thomas doesn't have his basketball legs yet. This idea that Isaiah is playing for a contract to me is ridiculous, and I will tell you why. I know Dwayne Wade must be feeling, wait a minute, in the second unit, this dude's just jacking up shots, he's not passing the ball, right?
Yeah.
But the bottom line is, you don't get paid for counting numbers anymore. If that were the case, Isaiah wouldn't be paid $7 million a year right now because he was averaging 22 in Sacramento and couldn't find a taker to the tune of even $10 million a year back then. So Isaiah has to know better than I just have to put up a lot of points. You have to be a good player, and Isaiah is an excellent player when he's healthy. He's not just a ball hog who makes bad decisions. When he gets into the paint, he dishes usually the right guy. He finishes well when he is really Isaiah Thomas. He is not Isaiah Thomas right now. I believe the Cavs can get out of the East with what they have. If you need to make a deal, then it's a Kemba Walker deal because Isaiah's an expiring contract. You take Kemba Walker, I would do that. Walker's a little bigger and so better defensively than Isaiah, and he's healthy. Or if someone like Anthony Davis was available, and they say we need Kevin Love and the Brooklyn pick and something, sure, of course. But barring something like that, they're going to have to stay with what they got and hope that Isaiah has his basketball legs by the end of the season, and they've integrated the offense, and LeBron's ready to lead
still won't be enough
the playoffs.
To beat Golden State.
And then they'll get out of the East where they'll get stomped by either Golden State or Houston in the finals.
Still
won't be enough. Sports with family. And you guys asked me, is it time for there to be a change in Cleveland?
Yes.
You said that it's time to trade Kevin Love. I agree with you. but not for the same reasons. Okay. The reason why they should trade Kevin Love, that's the only value they have besides LeBron.
That's why I said that. I just said that.
Do you realize
that's
that
Iman
Shumpert, J.R. Smith, and Tristan Thompson are all getting paid $179 million American dollars to play basketball, and they're having terrible seasons? In a salary cap-driven sport, you need those guys to be productive. I haven't seen Tristan, and I can't front, since he became a Kardashian. Now, I support power couples. However, look at his numbers in the finals. Look at what has transpired since then. He lost his starting job. They lost Kyrie Irving.
Damn, females.
As a basketball team.
Women.
You talked about playing for contracts. Everybody's playing for money, Max. They have 7 free agents on their team. They're the oldest team in the league. They're the most expensive team in the league. Yet Kemba Walker doesn't solve their issues. Rim protection, defense on the perimeter, as well as a cohesion for a team that is expected to win the East. But this squad that we're watching will not win the Eastern Conference the way they're playing basketball.
Hell no, they won't.
The Toronto Raptors have improved, led by DeMar DeRozan.
I think Boston will do it.
Will find a way to play better once the playoffs
It's Boston.
come. Oh, and by the way, the Boston Celtics are actually the #1 seed in the Eastern
Kyrie
Conference.
on a mission, baby. I try to tell these niggas. I try to tell them. They laughed at me last year. Or they laughed at me when he asked for that trade. They laughed at me.
Because they're not going to win the championship regardless.
I say Kyrie the next man up. I say Kyrie going to be a beast.
I said on this program, they would get swept by the Golden State Warriors. If I'm the GM, I go to LeBron and say, what do you want us to do? Because I would trade all of those dudes and the Brooklyn pick if I could get a Boogie, if I could get an Anthony Davis. But if I'm New Orleans, I'm not trading either one of those guys because they look really good playing with one another. It's a disaster right now that's going on in Cleveland. This team, the way we see them, will not win the Eastern Conference.
Look, I think it's fair to make all these points about the team now. And, this is the kind of Phil Jackson 7 rings or 11 rings team building stuff that's going on. They're not a team right now.
Correct.
The question is, can they become one by the time the playoffs roll around? Because they're obviously going to make the playoffs. And I think the answer is yes. And the reason I think that is, however Isaiah is playing now, this is not indicative of the kind of player he is. He's a good approximation of Kyrie on offense, and he's not a defender. We all knew that going in. The question is, can Isaiah get back to being most of the player he was last year on offense?
But another thing, too, Kyrie is an underrated defender. I don't care what anybody says.
In a way that works with LeBron.
He's an underrated defender.
I think the answer to that question, theoretically at least, is yes. And then the question becomes, can LeBron get himself to play defense toward the end of the season? That's always yes. He can do it when he chooses. He just has to pace himself, given his age and the miles on his legs. So I think they can solve it from within, unless there's an Anthony Davis available. Then you got to do what you got to do.
There's nothing to disagree with there. I just think you're missing an issue in terms of what we're discussing here. Because what we have to dissect and analyze is, if you're the Cleveland Cavaliers, why would you say that about Isaiah Thomas?
Right.
You know that he didn't want to come. He wanted to stay in Boston.
Right.
He knew that was the best position, that was the best possible scenario where he could get his money, which is now in Cleveland, by the way, and that's suspect. You knew that he would be looking to get paid, as you just pointed out. You also knew that he was 5'9", that he was a defensive liability, that he made his bones by dancing on you and putting the ball in the hole. You knew all of this. So why would you feel the need at this particular juncture to allow a story to leak out that you got a problem with Isaiah Thomas when the man just came back? Why would you do that? See, it's not about basketball when something like that happens, because any acute basketball mind recognizes, Jalen, that guess what? It's not that complicated. If I know a brother trying to get paid, and the dude has been out half the season because of his hair, and he just got back a few games ago, and he's looking to get his legs under him, I'm not going to hold him accountable for a basketball issue unless it's something more than that is sifted into the locker room, and we looking at things that extend beyond basketball.
Questions for both of you. I'll take all that at face value. Sure. I agree with it. The question is not, everyone's playing for money? It's a professional league. Are these guys self-motivated? Are the top?